Let's go! Somebody say, name above every other name. Oh, what can't you change? What can't you change? Jesus. Tonight we celebrate God. Come on, Jesus. Creator, creator of the universe. What can't you do? What can't you do? What can't you do? Jesus. Name above every other name. What can't you change? What can't you change?
Good evening, brothers and sisters in the Lord. Thank you for tuning in to the house of David. This evening, we'll be discussing the Bible itself. We got 66 books in the Bible. We got 39 books in the Old Testament. And we have 27 books in the New. Among the 27 in the New, Paul wrote 13 of them. The Apostle Paul. There are 14 others. Matthew up to John, up to Acts. That's 5 books. Then you take from Hebrew down to Revelation. You have 9 books. In between are books written by Apostle Paul, starting with Romans to the book of Philemon. I want to speak on something that will come as a shock to you. Not necessarily a shock, because there are individuals. There are a few Christians who are already conversant with this. They are in the minority. The majority of Christians do not know this. The reason for the message for tonight. There are contradictions in the book of Paul. There is inconsistency in the book of Paul. I have nothing against Paul. I started reading the Bible and I did more research. Why? Grace alone saves. Faith alone saves without works. I saw a lot of inconsistencies in churches and I started researching. And I saw consistency in all the other books of the Bible. But I saw inconsistency in the books of Paul, who has maintained that grace of faith without works is what saves, that works is nothing, that the law is nothing. I've read all the books of the Bible. There's no place, not one, that any prophet, any apostle, any servant of the Lord will tell you the law of God is nothing, that the law doesn't save. I've rather read a book where it is said that the law is like a lamp unto my feet. It's like a light unto my life. It saves. Follow my law, you have life. Disobey my law, you have death. How come Paul described the laws of God to represent death? I started doing this research. I researched and researched. The more I read, the more I discovered Paul to be inconsistent with the rest. I kept telling myself, no, Paul has to be consistent. The Bible has to be whole. The Bible has to be true as a whole. I have to accept these books. That is the Bible. I told myself, go on, come on, research more. There must be something, there must be somewhere that Paul agrees with the others. There must be somewhere that this thing come together and become one word. The more I search, the more I research, the more I find out Paul was a deviant, completely deviating from the things of God, completely deviating from Jesus Christ, the Word of God. Faith alone, without works. James gave a direct contradiction of Paul. Show me your faith without your works, then I will show you my faith by my works. Now I researched Paul more and more, and I got to discover that Paul either is ignorant or has an ulterior motive. Now he could be ignorant. There are a lot of Pharisees and scribes in those days who claimed to know the laws of Moses. But Jesus told them, you claim to know the law of Moses, you claim to be children of Abraham. How come you do this? How come you do that? Because they don't know the law, they are ignorant. They are bigoted in the laws of Moses. They are half-baked. Paul has always boasted himself to be Pharisees of Pharisees, scribe of scribes, learning at the feet of Gamaliel. I come to realize, how come you go about trying to kill the disciples of Christ? How come you go about trying to distort, destabilize what they do? Same thing Jesus asked some of these people, how come you could go about killing me, trying to kill me? If you are children of Abraham, did Abraham do this? No. Did Moses go about doing this? No. These are just extremists who claim to be Pharisees of the Pharisees, scribes of scribes. That is by the way. Now, after my research, I got to know that there are so many inconsistencies in churches today because of Apostle Paul. Because he gave room for different interpretation. There is no inconsistency except for Apostle Paul. Now what should we do as Christians? What should we do? What should we do? Should we maintain that these books of the Bible are infallible Word of God when the 13 books written by Apostle Paul clearly contradicted Jesus himself? There are many places. Why cannot go into details? There are so many. I decided to write a book about this. I came up with this book, Apostle Paul, Pro or Antichrist. Apostle Paul, Pro or Antichrist. It's a book that dealt chapter by chapter, started with Romans, from Romans, went to 1 Corinthians, to 2 Corinthians, and so on and so forth, Galatians and the rest. Romans is chapter 1, up to all the 14 books of Paul, 13 books of Paul. I added a 14th chapter because a lot of people believe Paul wrote Hebrews, the book of Hebrews. But my 14th chapter is on the book of Hebrews. But it's just a short one. There's really nothing there. It's just to tell you that Paul never wrote Hebrew. Hebrew, I'll read from Hebrews chapter 14. Paul did not write Hebrew. No matter how hard you look, Hebrew is down to bereft of Paul's style and signature. Hebrew is a great book, blending the old with the new in one great harmony. Paul did not write Hebrew. You can go and search. You can Google. You can read books that's to do with scripture, commentaries on the scriptures. At a point, some persons believe Paul wrote Hebrew. That was later on in life. Later around, quite recently, maybe 18th, 17th century. But all scholars have gone Again, to read the book of Hebrews, it is not consistent with Paul. Paul claimed not to learn the gospel from anybody. Paul claimed he never learned from anybody, that he received his revelation from God directly. Not even Peter, John, and James can claim that. Peter, John, and James, they are the three closest disciples to Christ. They learned from Jesus. Jesus himself had to stay with the doctors, learning from them, asking them questions, and even teaching them. But someone gave Jesus some scriptures. Someone cultivated Jesus to what he became. He is God. Yes, he is the Son of God. He knows everything. But as a child, there are a lot of things that you still need to groom yourself. Jesus groomed himself, prepared himself. So Paul to say he never got inspiration from anybody except directly from above shows something I miss. Now that I know Paul got a lot of things wrong, get this book, read it. Get this book, Apostle Paul, Pro or Antichrist. Go to Amazon. Of course, the website Amazon is popular. Amazon UK, Amazon US, Amazon worldwide, any of the Amazon. Just type the words Apostle Paul, Pro or Antichrist. The book will come up. Get a copy of this book and read it. Understand that there is time for Christianity to move forward. Move forward and move back to the days of the apostles of God, the first 3 centuries, when Paul was not so influential. How do you know Paul is out of sync with the rest of them? Paul quarreled with Barnabas. Barnabas took Paul out of his tent making work, brought him back into the mainstream of preaching. Paul turned against Barnabas. How could he turn against such a person? Paul turned against John Mark. John Mark's mother had the first congregation of the church in his house. Mary was John Mark's mother. Mary, the mother of John. John Mark's mother. He had a church in the upper room, somewhere, that the apostles gathered and worshipped. John Mark was a little boy who followed Jesus. Paul had issues with Barnabas because of John Mark. The issues between 2 Christians, 2 brothers, 2 sisters in the Lord cannot prolong, cannot stay beyond 24 hours, cannot stay beyond a day, because the Holy Spirit is always taking charge. The church was one until Paul came into the scene. How come John Mark, Barnabas had to depart from Paul? Because of difference in spirit. It's not difference in knowledge, it's not difference in ideology, it's not difference in doctrine, it's different in spirit. The spirit that ministers to Paul, I don't know what this kind of spirit that would be. I don't know if Paul got ministered by the Holy Spirit at one point in time, but I know there are several points in time the Holy Spirit was ministering to Paul. I will implore you, therefore, to get a copy of this book. Read it. Do not judge what I've just said to you. Get a copy of this book and read for yourself. It's a brief book, interesting to read, full of illustrations of the Bible, full of comparisons, contrasting Paul's word, Jesus' word, contrasting Paul's word, the words of other prophets, contrasting Paul's word, the words of other apostles. There are a lot of discrepancies. You cannot push it under the carpet. You cannot just ignore it. Something has to give way. I have decided that Paul has to give way. If Paul has to come in, then the other disciples have to give way. the other apostles, a lot of the other prophets, and even Jesus himself has to give way. Then we have to know it's Paul that we are following. But for others to stay, of course, I will pitch my tent with James, the brother of the Lord, who lived with the Lord all his life, disbelieved the Lord at first, later got to believe him, and started doing the works of the Lord. He lived with the Lord, he knows the Lord's mindset. He has read him, he has listened to the Lord, time without numbers. I'd rather listen to John, the apostles whom the Lord loved, the apostle, the young man who leans on the breast of Jesus. He was so close to Jesus. I'd rather listen to Peter, the cornerstone of the church. I won't listen to someone who comes out from the blues and tells me there is a new doctrine in town. To the extent that Peter almost got carried away by Paul, because Paul is an intelligent man. Very, very intelligent. Very wise. With plenty words of wisdom. That is somehow not spiritual wisdom. It is more of earthly wisdom. A wisdom that convinces. A wisdom that portrays himself as a humble person. But with so much hidden pride. If you read this book, you'll get a picture of what I'm saying. I'm only going to read page 131 to you. John James came to Paul, came to Peter and told him, no. God said, do not eat food sacrificed to idol. What's the big deal about the white training? Do it fine. Will somebody tell you, eat food sacrificed to idol and idol is nothing? God says, my laws are life. Someone comes and says, no, the laws of God brings death. That's a complete opposite. Complete deviation. We're not talking about the works, the shadows of the works of the law. The things, when I say shadow, I mean the excesses, the blood that was sprinkled, the killing of animals. No, I'm not talking about, we're talking about the law as a whole. As a whole. The Ten Commandments is the law. Jesus didn't discredit the Ten Commandments. Jesus didn't say you should not obey the Ten Commandments. Rather, he summarized them to 2. And he added one more. Love your God. Love your neighbor. These are the 2 commandments. They asked him, which is the greatest commandment? He said, the greatest commandment is to love your God. The second commandment, which is also like the first one, they are similar. It's love your neighbor. There's an 11th commandment, which has to do with go sell your goods and follow me. Sell your goods and sell it, give it to the poor. But that's a topic for another day. There's an 11th commandment up beside the 10. Love God, love your neighbor. Love God summarized. First 4 commandments summarized as love God. The next 6 commandments summarized as love your neighbor. First 4 commandments has to do with God. Thou shalt not make any graven image. Thou shalt not worship another God. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord in vain. Thou shalt not do this. Keep the Sabbath day holy. The next 6 commandments are men. Love your neighbor. Do not kill. Do not steal. Do not commit adultery. Of course, if you love your neighbor, you won't take your neighbor's wife. If you love your neighbor, you won't covet your neighbor's goods. If you love your neighbor, you won't bear false witness against your neighbor. You won't know your father and your mother. If you love your neighbor, your father and your mother, they are your neighbor also. So now, 6 of them, they summarize to love your neighbor. 4, the first 4, they summarize to love God. Jesus said, these are the 2 commandments. On these commandments, hang the prophets and the law. The prophets and the law are hanging on these 2. And somebody comes and tells me, do the law brings death? Oh man, how come people cannot get it? Paul contradicted the scripture openly, clearly, very clearly. Okay. Get a book. Apostle Paul, Pro or Antichrist. Get this book and read. I'm going to read page 131. I'm going to talk about a certain servant of God who lived close to the time Jesus died on the cross. Who lived after him. It's just shortly after the death of the apostles. Tertullian. His name is Tertullian. Do you know the book of Galatians was regarded by Martin Luther, the German Martin Luther, who brought about the Reformation, as the best book in the Bible? He wrote a commentary on Galatians, to the extent that Martin Luther asked the church to remove the book of James from the scripture because James clearly contradicted Paul. The man who wrote James is the brother of Jesus Christ. Now, I'll take you to page 131. There's a man named Marcion. Marcion is an ardent follower of Paul. Let me read it from the first paragraph here. Many Christians who do not want Paul's teaching to be seen as contradictory to Christ's own, did everything possible to disassociate Paul from Marcion, who is seen as a heretic. However, a closer look at some of the so-called heretic doctrines Marcion promoted will show a mere amplification of Paul's doctrines. There will hardly be a successful Marcion without a Paul. Tertullian, who fervently wrote against Marcion, inadvertently shot himself on the foot with the text below claiming he did not calumniate him, Paul, that's Paul, whom he defends, but deny him to compel Marcion to the proof of him. Now listen to the words of Tertullian here. I desire to hear from Marcion the origin of Paul the Apostle. I am a sort of new disciple, having had instruction from no other teacher. He's talking about Paul. For the moment, my only belief is that nothing ought to be believed without good reason. And that is believed without good reason, which is believed without knowledge of its origin. And I must, with the best of reasons, approach the inquiry with uneasiness when I find one affirmed to be an apostle, of whom in the list of the apostles in the gospel I find no trace. So when I am told that he, Paul, was subsequently promoted by our Lord, by now at rest in heaven, I find some lack of foresight in the fact that Christ did not know beforehand that he would have need of him. But after setting in order the office of apostleship and sending them out upon their duties, considered it necessary, on an impulse and not by deliberation, to add another by compulsion, so to speak, and not by design. That is, on the road to Damascus. So then, shipmaster out of Pontus is talking to Marcion now. Supposing you have never, Marcion was a shipmaster, supposing you have never accepted into your craft any smuggled or illicit merchandise, have never appropriated or adulterated any cargo, and the things of God are even more careful and trustworthy, will you please tell us under what bill of lading you accepted Paul as apostle, who had stamped him with the mark of distinction, who commended him to you, and who put him in your charge? Only so may you with confidence disembark in Paul, that's Paul now. Only so can he avoid being proved to belong to him who has put in evidence of all documents that attest his apostleship. He continued here. He, that is Paul himself, says Marcion. He says Marcion. That's talking about Paul Marcion, so he claims to be an apostle, and that not from men, not through any man, but through Jesus Christ. Clearly, any man, listen to this, Clearly, any man can make claims for himself, but his claim is confirmed by another person's attestation. One person writes the document, another signs it, a third attests to the signature, and the fourth enters it in the record. No man is for himself both claimant and witness. That was what Paul was. Paul was a claimant and a witness. Beside this, you have found it written that many will come and say, I am Christ. If there is one that makes a false claim to be Christ, much more can there be one who professes that he is an apostle of Christ. There will be false Christ. How come there will not be false apostles? Let the apostle belong to your other God. This is against Marcion. It was circulated in 212 AD. Now, Tertullian claimed to defend Paul by attacking Paul, and so as Marcion can defend him and to know if Marcion is in line, because Marcion has taken Paul to the extreme, and he was regarded as an heretic. Now, Tertullian is attacking Marcion, wants to attack Paul first, and allow Marcion to defend Paul, so that we see the angle Marcion was coming from. But lo and behold, I can't show you, Tertullian himself is just speaking the truth here by the mouth of the Holy Spirit. Tertullian is only defending Paul because he's afraid to be called an heretic. He's afraid. Or probably he thinks Paul was accepted. I assure you, I can confidently say, if Peter has read the 13 books written by Paul, he will shake his head. Paul didn't write any book at the time of Peter. Peter didn't read Paul's book. Maybe he read some, I don't know. But they are courageous ones. If Peter had read them, they would have distanced themselves even more. This is to camouflage and you'll be accepted. I don't know what it was. I don't know what Paul gained by adulterating the gospel. I don't know. But all I'm going to tell you is get this book and read it. And I'm also going to tell you again, the time has come for us to expunge the 13 books of Paul out of the scripture. Paul has to be expunged. For Christianity to be uniform, for Christianity to move to the destined place. Because of Paul, some people don't believe in miracles, some people don't believe in healings, they don't believe in a lot of things. They say, some are given gift of this, gift of that. Everything that is wrong with the Christianity practiced today can be traced to one man called Paul. I'm going to start having on my Bible expunging the book of Paul, and I urge you to do the same. Get a Bible that has 14 books of New Testament instead of 27 books, 66 books of the Old Testament. "14 books. Brothers and sisters, if I have a way to defend Paul and make him part of the gospel, without contradicting Jesus, without contradicting the apostles, without contradicting the prophets, I will gladly do so. Gladly. I would like to conform to the majority. Majority of Christians believe Paul is an apostle. I would like to be among the majority. But I cannot, because it is glaring, it is clear. There is nothing you can do to persuade anybody after reading this book. Get a copy of this book and digest it. You can always reach me on phone. You can always write an email to me if you have anything against this book. Or get a copy. I wouldn't have sold this book at all, but I have to make a big coverage for it. I went through Amazon. The list you can price a book on Amazon is the minimum of about $8. So I had to place it at the minimum price. To get this book for about $8, get a copy of this book for about $8 on Amazon. If you get this book and you feel you can contract what's written in this book, of course, no man is perfect, and you feel like getting your money back, write me, call me, I'll gladly refund by the grace of God. I'll refund the money back to you. The number to call is 080 590 1733. I repeat, 080 590 1733. Call me if you're calling outside of Nigeria at +234 before the 080. If you're calling within Nigeria, just dial this number directly. You can email me at afesodavid7@yahoo.com. Afeso is spelled AFESO DAVID David 7 figure 7 at yahoo.com. Thank you for listening and have a great night rest. Remain blessed.